Geography for Grade 9 Geography. As you can see, each of these definitions includes the idea that geography studies the Earth. Grade 9 Geography Introduction. In this unit, you will learn about the concept of geography and map reading. The major topics to be covered include the meaning of geography, scope of geography, branches of geography, what makes geography a science, meaning of map, historical development of maps, uses of maps, classification of maps, magnetic declination, linear and aerial scales, how to find the scale of a map, measurement of regular and irregular shaped areas and statistical diagrams. Geography as a branch of knowledge has been defined by different people. The ancient Greeks and Romans defined it as the description of the earth. The Germans in the 18th century defined it as a science that deals with the relationship between people and their environment. In the mid-20th century, it became a spatial science dealing with the arrangement and distribution of things and phenomena over the surface of the earth. The differences in these definitions reflect the fact that geography had various scopes during its historical development. Initially it was considered as a general earth science. Geography has now become a science that examines place and space on the Earth's surface in relation to location, distribution, arrangement, interaction, causes and effects of thing and phenomena. Modern geography is a spatial temporal aerial science. Nowadays, geography has two main branches of study, physical and human. The most important tools that geographers use are maps. Like the science of geography itself, maps have evolved over the centuries. They have changed from simple sketches to complex representations such as spatial data compilations, which you will study in later grades. 1.1.1 Meaning of geography. What is geography? Do you think that geography has a single universally accepted definition? Why? From the ancient Greeks to modern-day geographers, geography has been defined differently. However, the various definitions share some common ideas. Here are some of the most important definitions that geographers have proposed. Eratosthenes, 276–196 BC, geography is the description of the earth. Concise Oxford Dictionary, 1964, geography is the science of the earth's surfaces. Hartshorne, R. To 1992, geography is a branch of knowledge that is concerned with the provision of an accurate, orderly and rational description of distributions on the surface of the earth. 5 Yates, M. 1968, geography is a science that is concerned with the rational development and testing of theories that explain and predict the spatial distribution and locations of things and phenomena on the surface of the earth. 1.1 Introduction to the concept of geography for Grade 9 Geography. As you can see, each of these definitions includes the idea that geography studies the earth. Most of them specify the surface of the earth.
At this level,
we will define geography as a branch of science that studies the Earth's surface and the distribution, arrangement and interaction of natural human features and their causes and effects. I1.1.3 Branches of geography. What are the two branches of geography? Can you list some of the fields of geography that fall into each of the two branches? You have studied the definition of geography, and you have considered its scope. Next you will learn about the main parts of geography, its branches. They are physical geography, human geography, branches, soft geography, FDRE, climatology, geomorphology, oceanography, cultural geography, population geography, economic geography, political geography, urban geography, historical geography, physical geography. This branch of geography studies the distribution of the natural features of the world, such as climate, landforms, soil, vegetation, and drainage systems. Physical geography also considers causes, effects and interactions of these features.
Physical geography includes the following specialized fields of study.
Climatology
studies factors that create climate and examines their variation
and distribution of climate and related causes and effects.
5
Geomorphology studies the distribution of landforms, such as mountains and plains, and the forces that change them. Soil geography studies the distribution of soils and their characteristics. Biogeography studies the distribution of plants and animals in relation to the environments that they inhabit. Oceanography studies the location, causes and effects of ocean currents, waves and tides. What does human geography study? Do you know the sub-branches of human geography? 2 Human geography. This branch of geography studies the distribution and influence of human aspects of our world, including cultures, population settlement, economic activities and political systems. Human geography includes these specialized fields of study. Cultural geography studies the distribution and interactions of cultures, including people's beliefs and customs.
It also examines the
movement, expansion and interaction of cultures on the surface of the Earth. Population geography studies the distribution, growth and structure of population. Economic geography studies production, consumption and exchange and the spatial distribution of goods and services and factors affecting them. Political geography studies the distribution of political systems and the ways people use them to exercise power and make decisions. Urban geography studies the development and characteristics of towns, cities and other urban centers. Historical geography is the study of the geography of the past and how places or regions change over time. Unit 1, the concept of geography and map reading 1.1. For geography as a science. What is science? What makes geography a science? TOEIC 710. Science is a system of acquiring knowledge through scientific methods. These methods involve observation, identification, description, experimental investigation, and theoretical explanation of phenomena. Geography investigates facts and relationships related to physical and social phenomena, and examines their distribution across the world and changes over time. The main tools geography uses to gather and analyze information are observation, systematic description, systematic recording and mapping. As you can see from its subject matter and methodologies, geography is a subject that bridges the natural and social sciences. Grade 9 Geography 10.1.2.1 Meaning of map. What is a map? Do you remember what you have learned in previous grades about map? Here is a simple definition. A map is a simplified, diminished, plane representative of all or Earth's surface as viewed from vertically above. Here are the main features of maps. A map represents all or part of the Earth's surface. For example, a map might show a city such as Addis Ababa, the entire world, or a section of a garden. A map is a two-dimensional, plane, representative. And for example, a map might be printed on a piece of paper. Maps show the Earth's surface as if it were seen from directly above. This VN is called a bird's eye view. All maps are smaller than the area they represent. Maps are drawn to scale. In other words, the features shown on a map have the same relative proportions as they do in reality. For example, if one mountain's diameter is twice as large as that of another mountain, the first mountain would be shown on a map as twice as large as the second. Maps are simplified representations. Most maps use generally extended symbols to represent natural, artificial or cultural features of times they represent. They also use conventional notations to provide ground information such as the map's title, date and scale. Activity 1. 3 is discuss the following question and perform the following tasks in your group. 1. What does this mean? A map is a two-dimensional plane representation. 2. Compare and contrast maps and globes. 3. Prepare sketch map of your locality and show on the map the settlement pattern in the locality. 1.2.2 Historical development of maps. Describe the historical development of maps. How do traditional and modern mapmaking differ from each other? Maps are among our oldest tools. People created maps even in primitive times. For instance, men and women sketched their routes to hunting, fishing and gathering grounds. Today, we also prepare maps, for many purposes. However, map-making has passed through many stages of development since its beginning. The two main stages of the historical development of map-making are, traditional map-making, modern map-making. Traditional map-making. What are the major features of traditional map-making? How did people represent the environment on maps in the past? The art of traditional map-making is as old as the human race. Traditional maps have been made in many ways. For example, early map materials included sticks, shells, clay tablets, parchment, paper and solid plates of silver. Many traditional maps were locational. For example, they have shown the locations of waterholes and hunting grounds and have included paths that led to these places. Focus P in traditional mapmaking, collecting measurements of distances, directions, areas and locations was one of the greatest challenges. Each measurement was made by hand, through field work in the area being mapped. This process was laborious and tiresome. Often the accuracy of the resulting information is imperfect and therefore not fully dependable. Another main difference between traditional and modern maps is that a traditional map might include drawings of three-dimensional objects. As a result, Unit 1 The concept of geography and map reading 11.1.2. 2. Historical development of maps. Describe the historical development of maps. Flow. Traditional and modern maps are among our oldest tools. People creamed maps even in prime time. For instance, men and women sketched their route to city hunting, bahin, and gathering grounds. Today, we also prepare maps, for many pupenda. Hemavs/Tom Fairing.
Hun passed through many
stages of development since its beginning. Two main stages of the historical development of Pupukianari: traditional map-making, modern map-making. Traditional map-making. What are the major features of traditional map-making?
How did people
represent the environment on maps? In the art of traditional map-making is as old as the human race. Traditional masses have been made in many ways. For example, early map materials included sticks, shells, clay tablets, parchment, paper and solid plates of silver. Many traditional maps were locational. For example, they have shown the locations of holes and bunting grounds and have included paths that led to these places. War signo-focus in traditional map making, collecting measurements of distances, directions, areas and locations was one of the greatest challenges. Bark measurement was be made by hand, through held work in the area being mapped. This process was laborious and tiresome. Often the accuracy of the resulting information is imperfect and therefore not fully dependable. Another main difference between traditional and modern maps is that a traditional map might include drawings of three-dimensional objects. As a result, a traditional map might be somewhat pictographic, or physiography, rather than strictly diagrammatic. Most traditional maps are sketch maps. For example, look at this ancient world map that Eratosthenes drew. Eratosthenes, 276 BC to 194 BC, Eratosthenes was a Greek mathematician, geographer and astronomer. In 200 BC, Eratosthenes adopted a word geography, which means a description of the Earth. Figure 1.3 Eratosthenes map. Modern map making. When did modern map making start? What features characterize modern map making? What is the role of GIS in modern map making? The modern science of map making has its basis in the 17th century.
The various developments that took place during the Renaissance gave way to accurate map-making, cartography. Furthermore, advancements in science and technology resulted in the invention of better cameras and airplanes specially designed to take aerial photographs. Today, mapmakers have diverse opportunities to acquire spatial information. In addition to aerial photography, satellite imagery provides a wealth of information. Nowadays, computers have come to be close friends of mapmakers. This is because they have become invaluable in making maps. In the last 3 decades of the 20th century, computers have been seen as integral part at almost every stage of the cartographic process. They play roles in the collection, storage, analysis, and presentation data, and even in the mapping and reproduction of this makes the Geographic Information System, GIS, indispensable to modern mapmaking. Mapmaking. A GIS